Now there's a show that I don't hear talked about very much and is not really hyped that much online or in real life. So I thought I'd try and spark a little bit of conversation or interest around it. So it's called Midwife. You might have heard of it, you might have not. And I think maybe it's age-range just predominantly older people. Basically it is about a team of midwives and nurses operating in the East End of London in the 1950s, 60s. It's not on air at the moment, but it is all on Netflix, so if you like what I've got to say about it, then I highly recommend going to have a look. The story centres around a nurse called Jenny Lee. This is based on a true story, so this is based on her memoirs. And she was actually called Jennifer Worth, that was her married name. And the series picks up when she arrives in the East End. She's a new nurse, she's not really sure what she's got herself in for. And yeah, and it kind of explores her journey of growth and understanding. In the East End, now East London is a very kind of hip, trendy area, quite gentrified, but within living history, this was a very, very different area. I think some of the trendiest streets in the East End nowadays used to be very famous for brothels. Yeah, there's a lot of history, and incredible poverty was actually in the East End. London was a very different place just after the World War ended, World War II. Bomb sites, meth drinkers would just be hanging out at the bomb sites, like rubble everywhere, a very poor country, and yeah, it was very, very different. And this series is exploring, it is called The Midwife, but it's not just about babies giving birth. Every mother, and if there's a father, every couple has a story, every baby has a story. They've covered storylines where they've had like a Caribbean immigrant family come over and they've explored the reactions of the neighbours and the locals to the East End, because at that time racism was a lot more obvious. They've also covered a relationship between a couple where the lady has Down syndrome and the gentleman has some kind of impairment with movement. And I think it is very truthful to how it would have been in the 50s, and it really opens your eyes to how different things were. So because they're all nurses and midwives, of course there are a few male characters, but the predominant cast is all women, and they are portrayed so well. They're all deep characters. There are a range of issues covered with them, so alcoholism is covered, family issues, there is crisis of faith with one of the nuns, sexual assault is also covered at one point. But all handled very, very sensitively, and yeah, a lesbian relationship is also covered in detail, and with a lot of care and sensitivity, and obviously in the situation of the 1950s it's very different to how it would be now. And as well as all that heavy stuff that is covered really, really well, there's a lot of heartwarming moments, there's a lot of really positive female relationships, also a lot of platonic relationships between males and females, and a lot of community spirit and cheer. It probably is a little bit rose-tinted, as most things are, but I think given the subject material you'd have to have a little bit rose-tinted to make it watchable. So that's my little review. I really hope that I've inspired you to go and have a watch of the series. I've been me, you've been you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, bye!